Front pads and rotors, 06 Corolla XRS. Loosen your lug nuts before you lift it. Once you have it securely lifted on a stand, take your lug nuts the rest of the way off and pull your wheel off. If it sticks, you can tap around the back side of it with a rubber mallet or a regular hammer and a block of wood. Take your caliper off. There's going to be 2 bolts holding it. One right here and the other one down there. 2 bolts out, slide off your caliper. Don't let it hang from the brake hose or you can damage it. So you want to put a bucket or a box or a brick or something to set it on when you get it off. You may have to tap it with a hammer. Rotor comes off. You might have to tap it. Pop out your pads. Kind of need 2 hands, but I was trying to show you. It just pushes out. Okay. Pay attention to the way these come out. That way there's no confusion putting the new ones in, which way they go. You might have to put something on the back of it and tap it out if it's really stuck. Same thing with this one, but you're going to want to leave the old one on for a second to use the C-clamp to push your piston back in to make room for the new pads. Okay, you put your C-clip on like this. As long as the piston goes in with relative ease, everything should be good to go. If it doesn't want to go in, you either got a failing caliper or a brake hose. Okay, that's with it all the way down. It went in nice and easy. Just turn it till it starts to stop. You don't need to smash it down in there. Okay, there's with the other pad out. So then we just need to put the new pads in, put the rotor back on, and put the caliper back on. Okay, there's with the new pads in. You be careful not to touch them with your dirty ass fingers where they're going to touch the rotor. And this piece does slide back and forth, so like when I first started I couldn't get this in because it was too close to that, so you can just slide the damn thing if you have to. I'm not going to fuck with it, but either way it slides, so you can adjust it to how you need to get the pads in there. But there you go, that's what it looks like with new pads in. Alright, there's my new rotor. Mine are directional because they have the drilled and slotted rotors. So if yours are directional like that, make sure you put it on the right damn way. And a lot of your regular rotors that you get from the parts store, they're going to have packing grease on them. And you'll need to take brake parts cleaner in a rag and clean that shit off first. But mine come dry, so I don't have to worry about that. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and throw my rotor on there, and you're going to be very careful. Make sure you don't get any of your dirty fingerprints on there, or you're going to have to clean it off again. Okay, put your caliper back on. I'm going to need both hands for that. Alright, I didn't have these quite in the right orientation. When I went to slide it over, it wouldn't clear. I got them in the right spot now. I can do this with fucking one hand. Okay, like that. I'm holding it in place right now. You're gonna have to push your rotor back to where it's flat while simultaneously sliding your caliper over with the pads. Like I said, this will move so you can adjust it to get it to fit over. I just need to put my bolts back in. Okay, it's back on. Got the bolts snug down. You want to get them on there nice and tight, but you don't have to Hercules the shit. Now if you got your piston pushed in all the way, your rotor's going to be loose until you get in the car and push the brakes lightly a few times until it pushes that piston back out, and then your pads will grab onto the rotor. But right now there's going to be a gap between your rotor and your pads because your piston's all the way in. Okay, I like to very lightly snug them down. I mean real light. before I put any weight on it. Then I'll lower it and put just a little bit of weight on them. Not all the weight, because it's still loose. And you're supposed to torque these in 3 steps. Crisscross pattern. 30, 60, 90. 30 foot-pounds the first set, 60 foot-pounds the second set, 90 foot-pounds the last. Anywhere around there will be fine. Your final torque, you want it to be 80 to 90 foot-pounds. It'll be fine. 100 is a little overkill. Alright, once you're done, remember the pistons are not touching yet. The pads are not touching yet. There's a gap. Start your car. And then you're going to lightly push the brake a couple times. And it's going to push your pistons back out and your pads until they touch the rotor. You don't want to do it hard or fast, or you can trick your ABS system into thinking it has a leak and it can lock out the front brakes. So this is how you want to do it. No more than halfway down. Just until they firm up. And there it is. Good to go. Otherwise, you go to pull out, you hit the brake, it goes to the floor, you have no brakes. And then it could cause it to lock out the front. So just take your time and do it like that, and now it's good to go, ready to go.